If you're having difficulty leading productive meetings with your board on facilities issues, it's time to reshape the conversation about facilities management. Listen to your peers explain how they changed the facilities conversation and got their board on board.
I'm the primary contact between each of our institutions and the Board of Trustees as it relates to our physical assets. It's important to understand if we're making proper investments into our physical assets and how we are relating to other peer institutions.
Whatever make my case, it's never like an automatic, it's never easy.
Terminology has been a big hurdle for us. Terms like deferred maintenance, capital renewal, they have many, many meanings to many different people. Our challenge has been to get them to understand what we mean by capital renewal, modernization, total cost of ownership. So we're managing up. We're trying to educate our Board of Regents and our senior administration.
We had tried several different facility condition programs, and they just were not effective in communicating a very important message. To make sure administration understands the importance of asset management, resourcing, and facility condition assessment so that we can ensure the mission is performed at the university.
Sightlines has introduced a new vocabulary around facilities investment. Facilities had been seen as purely a cost in the past, but we've been able to change the language and to frame it around a facilities portfolio and a facilities endowment. When looked at in that light, it has really helped our frontline technical staff and the decision makers within facilities to get on the same page with our senior leaders and with our trustees. We began to introduce language such as replacement value, net asset value, to understand what the return on investment would be. And that was absolutely critical in shaping the discussion going forward and has really helped with a lot of critical decision making.
It's been very helpful for the board to hear it from a business standpoint. The Sightlines data is very critical. It's business analytics. It's not engineering based. It's not construction based. It's third-party objective opinion for our Board of Regents rather than them hearing it from me.
We've also just completed a condition assessment with Sightlines, and that information was incredibly valuable to the trustees. And what we found was that it provided a very valuable business case rather than an engineering case for upgrading and renewal of our facilities. Going away from some of the traditional technically focused facilities conditions assessment to something that's more valid to the trustees and to those in higher administrations, which makes more of a business sense.
Every year when we update our benchmarking assessment, the Sightlines team will come and will present meaningful third-party analysis of our campus to our leadership at the executive director level, chief financial officer level, et cetera. And they'll help present the data. So it helps me, it's not just information that's my opinion. Having that information that's consistently gathered and compared to other peer institutions makes my job much easier when it comes time to presenting information on staffing or investment levels.
Our folks already know about our buildings, but Sightlines gives us a yardstick to measure our progress and helps our senior administrators understand how we compare to our peers. And so it puts it in a manner so that they can easily understand and make decisions that have resulted in a tremendous amount of funding and resources.
The return on investment has just been fantastic. We've actually been able to create some very solid policies with the trustees so that we get appropriate funding for reinvestment in our campuses and specifically in our physical assets as it relates to the deferred maintenance issues.
We've expanded the footprint of the college by about 15% over the course of the past 3 years. And now we need to really understand what the impact will be on capital planning and understand what the funding should be for that going forward. Their benchmarking analysis is going to be critical for us and our trustees to understand what we'll need for operational resources going forward with those new buildings and the new demands presented by those buildings.
You know, I fortunately had a chance to present to our deans as well as our cabinet, and it was almost like an aha moment. They got it. They understand the complexity of the issue, but they also understand the risk that we were managing. As a result, we're expected to receive a significant amount of resources to address our facilities issues.
Start a new facilities conversation today. Contact Sightlines for help getting your board on board.